Oh, guys, good evening. How's everybody doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. How you guys doing?
Cold, very cold.
Oh
Super
yeah,
cold, way too cold.
oh yeah. We in the cold too. It's
I
we've had
was worried about
teens.
this background freezing up on us here.
Ice
It would
over.
here. It definitely would
That,
here today.
that should be the background today. Is some icicles.
Yeah, I should have done that. That would be good.
Holy smokes, it's cold. I hope everybody in the chat is staying nice and warm. How you doing, Farm All? What's up? We go fishing. Dan, good to see you here. Man, it has been chilly, and I think that's pretty much across the country, right?
Yeah, except for southern Florida. I did see a post today where it was like Florida had 5 different temperatures. It was like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s or something.
Yeah, this last week when we were in Florida, and we had the 50s, a little bit of 40s, warming up to 60s. So you start out in the morning with all your gear on. The bad thing was we had a lot of rain, and that took a lot of the fun out of it. But it is what it is. So, folks in the chat, what you been up to since the last time we had this little get together? What you all been doing? Let us know. Stanley, what you been up to, man?
Well, I need it to be known just here and now. And for anybody who's not aware, I do not do cold. I don't do sub 60 degrees at all, like 72 degrees. So
where are you
we
from
hit
again,
freezing.
Stanley?
What's that?
Where are you from again?
South Texas, like the lowest parts of the country, like drop down to the bottom of it. And yeah, we don't do that. So we hit freezing. We've been at freezing for 3 days. They shut down the cities. They shut down the school. I've got Savannah and Rachel at home all day today. I've got my plan set up. We're leaving for Mexico here in a couple of days. I'm just not doing this again.
Southern Mexico, I hope.
Oh yeah. We're going down to the warm parts of
it.
Grant, how you been doing this weekend? I seen some images. You might have had a good weekend.
Yes, Saturday we had Janet and I went to the blind that my buddy and I went to that first Tuesday of the season, and we had a very good hunt. I did get my limit of 6, and she should have got her limit of 6, but we had fun. Haven't even started looking at that video yet, but
that's what you were hunting.
Some ducks.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was so I'll give a little spoiler alert since we're talking about it. We had a group come in about 10 minutes after shooting time of mallards, and I don't know how many there was. Janet said she thought there was 80 or 100. Whew. They landed on the opposite side of the hole from us, and then the blind behind us shot. And whenever they shot at some ducks, those in front of us got up and flew right in front of us. And Janet's been hunting for 13 years now. It was the first time she and I had ever shot and killed 6 ducks out of one group. We dropped 6 ducks in 6 shots.
Nice.
Now, I don't know who killed what, but we got 6. That's all that matters.
It's probably Janet got them all.
She might have killed.
I got full faith in that. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. It's good to see you guys. You've been putting in the work. And it ain't been just this year, so it's good to see it pay off for you.
Yeah, it was very fun. Well, so this morning, 3 days later, we go back, we draw. We're actually second in line to pick. We picked the exact same spot. We only get about maybe 40 yards from the boat ramp, and we have to turn around. My boat just wasn't heavy enough to break the ice. We had the boat up on the ice. We'd have to back off the ice back into the hole we had made where we came, get another run at it. We'd get back up on the ice, break it a little bit. It was just she and I. It's like, let's go to the house. So we got the boat loaded back up, and the guys that run the place, the DNR guys, they come driving around, and they said that there was a couple other guys that was trying to make it, and they had already left, and there's some other guys that couldn't make it to their blind, so they were going to go to a different blind that was a little bit closer than the one they had picked. And we sat out there until it got light enough to see, and the entire lake was froze over. There's no ducks, not a single duck on the lake. When we left Saturday, there was probably 2,500 ducks on the lake. And then the fields outside of the hunting area, the farm fields were all flooded. There was probably another 2,500, 3,000 ducks in those farm fields.
Damn.
All gone today. It's froze solid.
That sucks. That cold weather did you wrong.
Yeah, we did see there was one little spot that had a hole maybe 40 yards by 40 yards, then had maybe 100 ducks in it that they were swimming around in circles, keeping it open. And then we saw one other little hole that I got some video of that I'll post. It was 3 ducks keeping a hole about that big around, 3 of them. And they let us stop in the truck about 20 yards from them and record. They wasn't getting out of that hole. They were staying in that hole to keep some water open. It's pretty neat.
I could see a shorts video with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So I don't know. They were showing warm-ups by the end of the week. We've got another permit for this Saturday. We've got 9th pick, but I don't think it's going to be thawed out by then. I think
we
it's
should
still
be
going
seeing
to be
a video from you pretty soon, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm going to have some time to edit.
All right. Well, I posted a video today finally, and my first fishing video of 2024. When my buddy from Michigan that's down here, he caught his first redfish at Veronica Lake. So that's up. I posted that today. Went fishing in Florida this weekend with high hopes and meeting an old Army buddy of mine. And my brother-in-law came down, and, well, it didn't turn out so well. The water was about 5 foot higher than normal. So the crappie spawn was destroyed. They were scattered. So we ran around, trolled up 2 nice crappie, and that was it. And then at the end of that first day, we sat in some weeds on the edge of the water and threw out some baits and caught about 10 or 15 catfish. So it wasn't a total bust. That wasn't too bad. Day 2, we wanted to get a shot at saltwater, but the rain, wind, and terrible conditions really played against us. So we caught a few fish, nothing worth bragging about, so we probably won't see a video from that. So my next video will probably be day 1 of Florida, and that'll be it. And I got to come up with a plan for our next trip.
I would, considering the trip over there, I would, like, if you got a hard head per se, I would be tempted to make a video about the long haul trip from Texas to Florida in search of the elusive hardhead.
Everybody will be like, you ain't got to leave Texas for that.
Yeah.
We go fishing. I have learned to hate the cold. Me too. I've lived in a lot of cold places, Michigan, Germany. But the older I get, the more I hate the cold. My problem is, though, I hate the hot too. I don't like 100 degrees. I need a steady 70 to 80 degrees. If you can give me that window 365 days a year, I would be a happy camper.
Yes. Yeah, well, see, that would be my kind of luck. I'd make the trip to Florida and wouldn't have any luck.
Yeah. Well, that's not my second trip to Florida total, but my second trip to Florida where we didn't have a lot of luck. And both of them were because of weather conditions. You know, when you plan something out in advance, like, you can't just, hey, tomorrow we're going to Florida. You know what I mean? So you got to plan in advance, and what you get is what you get. Just got to make the best of it.
You know, if you were really looking at getting into something, you have to plan around doing that exactly. February, or late January, February, I'm the same way. Like, it's cold and we're leaving for Mexico. I want to get out, and I don't care. It's not the best time to be going fishing in Mexico. I'm looking more to escape, you know, the cold and the misery that is, you know, South Texas right now in the wintertime. I want to add a little summer to my winter. It's not necessarily about, you know, getting the best catch ever. It's just about capitalizing on trying to get out of that.
This is true.
If you were really, you know, focused, if that was like the main thing that needed to absolutely happen, you'd be a little bit more focused and invested in, you know, going out on a Freeman or a, you know, who knows, like big expensive boat in the middle of August or whenever their seasons are prime time.
Oh, David, you're lucky. I'm jealous.
Please get us some pictures of that.
Hey, folks, hit that thumbs up for us real quick while you're on here. That helps out a ton, more than you realize.
Who here has some interest in this topic that we got for the main event, the main topic of the show tonight? I'm curious if this is going to be one of those big redneck events where we get all mad at each other and start screaming.
I don't think so. I think we'll do good.
Well, for me, yeah, I'd say for me personally, Illinois had some of the stricter gun laws for a while now, and they actually just reenacted some. So I would assume, I don't know anybody that's doing this, but for me, I don't have any of those type of weapons. I've just got the basic shotguns, but yeah, I would assume for those that do have those type of weapons that they got rid of them all. So
for reference on that, I'm pulling it up right now. I've got a list of all the different gun laws that have been changed and are now going into effect with the new federal regulations and stuff that they're doing. The main topic of tonight, I'm pulling that up now just as soon as I can see it.
We're talking about some stuff going on in Michigan, right?
Well, yeah, it's Michigan. It's some other states too. It's not just Michigan. Michigan had more they had more than the other guys.
More.
I'm trying to pull it up here. There it is. So in Illinois, a new law banning certain high-powered semi-automatic weapons, high-capacity magazines, went into effect in January. So that's you guys got something more on an assault weapon ban,
right?
After a
semi-automatic weapons,
a mass shooting at a parade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those people that do have those weapons and those magazines are supposed to register.
So what is a high-powered semi-automatic weapon? So my 270 deer rifle, if it was semi-automatic, would fall in that?
Not sure what's considered high power.
I guess that's what you got to figure out.
Well, what's a low-powered? So a low-powered is probably 22. A 22 LR or something.
Yeah. 22, maybe a 30-30.
They don't make a semi 30-30, do they? That would be an insane weapon.
That would be neat.
Yeah, it would be. It would be fun.
We go fishing. I agree. That is very true.
Let's make it a fight.
Look, I'm all for gun safety. One of the things they're talking about is securing your firearms in the home. And yeah, you got to be able to get to your firearm if you need it. And that's not something that you can waste time at. But when you see these stories of kids finding a parent's gun unsecured and then having some type of accident with it, whether a kid shoots himself or shoots a sibling or whatever, personally, I think the owner of the gun, mom, dad, whoever, should be liable and held and be prosecuted for it. It's their fault. Yep, they're going through a bad time. Something bad happened in their family, but that shouldn't excuse their responsibility. It's their fault it happened. They're responsible for that firearm. So I'm fully on board. I think a lot of our problems are we have a lot of these gun laws already, but we don't enforce them equally, maybe, or at all. You see plenty of times where people commit a criminal act with a firearm and then plead down to a misdemeanor so that they're allowed to own a firearm again and then go and commit crime again. So that's the kind of stuff we got to really focus on, I think. In my opinion.
Definitely. There's the Wild Game Pursuit, one of our Michigan guys.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
We're about to whip out the old boxing gloves on this one, man. You got perfect timing.
Yeah, that was one thing about Michigan. It did say that there was something saying that they had to keep the guns locked up away from kids, but that's something else. Are you going to allow people to come in and inspect your house or inspect your guns, inspect how you're keeping them locked up? That's infringing.
Yeah, no, that ain't going to happen.
So let me show you what we're talking about with that. These are the laws at Ben and other Ben. I'll let you guys determine who's Ben and who's other Ben. But we're going to pull up your thing here in just a minute. We're going to cover that in just a second here. But give me 1 second. Let me get everybody caught up on what's up with Michigan. Michigan is one. The laws that they're doing is a little bit more. They haven't updated their gun control laws in 40 years, so they did that, and this is what they did. 4 significant gun laws. Oh, I'll get the wrong one here. So this is the Michigan one specific, but that's not. This article doesn't actually cover. This is by CBS. But FYI, I've got links in the description of this video below for both of these articles if anybody wants to take a look at them themselves. So what Michigan is doing. They want what they are saying they did is they implemented a strong, safe storage law. I read that wrong. It's a strong, safe storage law that they want to keep the guns away from firearms. Now, this is claiming like some of these. I'm not very fond of this article because they make some blanket statements like this. That I don't agree with doing that kind of stuff. Now, while I'm not trying to argue the numbers or anything like that, that's still that sounds very arbitrary to me. I mean, obviously you can put a little dose of truth in anything, make it like a viable conversation piece. But that's one of the things is they want to keep guns safe. That they want to keep guns away from kids. They don't want kids, being able to accidentally shoot themselves. Right. Nobody's going to argue that. Now, where there needs to be we can get into that in a second. John, what you were saying, I wanted to touch on, but the other one was they're going to ban gun ownership for convicted domestic abusers for 8 years after a misdemeanor conviction. So, I think they're targeting the right people. If you're targeting something here. This is this. If you are going to, if somebody has domestic abuse issues, I don't want them. I don't want if I have a neighbor or somebody lives across the street from me or something like that, and they have domestic abuse issues, and this is something they've had issues with for a long time, and they have guns. I think maybe they should spend a little time, focusing on mental health rather than their guns. I do have concerns about just like what Ben and Ben are saying over here. I do have concerns about some of this where the straight of the law itself.
Right. I think
like what I'm bringing up here.
I think most of these laws are just basic responsible firearm ownership, for the most part. But it's the ones that where they want to come in your house or they want you to get rid of certain guns or, the high-powered rifles where you can't defend yourself or. Yeah, I think for the most part.
Yeah, so a lot of the rules
being responsible.
A lot of the states that did that did these rules, we can look at. There's 5 or 6 states that added these rules. Colorado's a good example here, where they did something like where they're banning ghost guns. These are guns that you can now, you can 3D print them. You can make them for kids at your house. They don't have serial numbers. They're hard to track. Those are illegal or they're restricted. I don't know what the restrictions are on that. I don't really that doesn't concern me too much. I do have concerns that like everybody else does about the blanket concerns, but targeting that right there, I really have, less worries about them banning people from being able to make their own guns like that. And without some kind of restriction, I can be okay with this. The red flag stuff is what kind of does bother me here. And that's where, so for anyone who's not aware, the red flag laws, the issue with this is that basically gives carte blanche. It gives you the ability to take away somebody's gun if they pose an imminent threat to themselves or somebody else.
And who determines
which is that? Effectively anybody with a gun.
Yeah.
Judge. Yeah. It gives the right to a judge. Somebody that watching your channel actually could call and report you, say they think you're dangerous, and then you'd have to be investigated.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about that prior to doing this stream, but we were all we did have a conversation about this. We are all on the same page with all of these topics. And I mean, we're putting a little bit of a target on our back. Like there's we didn't discuss it. I'm sure everybody has that same kind of concern where we are putting a little bit of a target on our back where, we're at the least probably going to suffer from, the possibility of future demonetization or something like that. But also, if somebody's got some kind of algorithm out there on YouTube looking for, crazy gun people to be aware of, we're probably on that list
now. Yeah, that's the big thing right there. The criminals are still going to be criminals.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly. All you're doing is taking away protection from the law-abiding citizens.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the other issues that they talked about on this, is they said one of the other Michigan ones, a couple of the states did this as well, is where they have more strict requirements for background checks and requirements to, that you have to go through in order to actually get the gun in the first place. Fine, but the problem aren't the people who are passing these background checks. The problem is not the people who are, willingly going to get the background checks.
Exactly.
The real problem behind all of these issues everybody's concerned about, we're all aware, are the other people, the ones that are not doing this.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wonder how many of those actually do. Somebody that is actually intending on doing a mass shooting, I wonder how many of those people actually do go and try to purchase a gun legally.
Yeah.
To get a background check and all that.
It's very often that the gun ends up in their hands. I don't know the statistics on it. I don't know that anybody actually tracks the statistics on it, but it is not uncommon for them to come across their guns via a friend, a family member. They had access to guns that weren't theirs. They didn't buy them. We probably all know somebody who is in possession of a gun that, they did not go through purchasing it.
I, for one, do not know anybody in that situation.
I don't either, but I assume that there's enough people here that know people with, guns. Somebody here has got to have that person that they know.
I do know Ben has a 3D printer. I'm not telling anybody though.
That's right. He's got videos. He's telling everybody.
We got our scapegoat now. So when they come down on us, we're having the terrorist stream, and I just said the T word, so there goes monetization forever. We're using Ben as our scapegoat.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle in this country for a long time because we don't have morals and ethics in the younger generations, I guess. And I guess us as parents and grandparents have kind of failed them because, like, I think it was Ben, one of them pointed out, we used to go to school, you're going to go hunting afterwards, you got your shotgun in the rack behind your head, and there were no shootings then. So what's
Same
changed?
here. I went to high school, gun racks in the on the back window of the truck.
Yeah. What's
that
changed?
was not uncommon.
What's changed? That's what we got to figure out.
Yeah. And Ben, I do want to be fair, and I'm not going to say that there are not things to be concerned about. There are some things that, as a country, we have some issues with this. So that's me trying to be open and fair, and I don't know where else to go with that, because other than that statement alone, I do agree with you. Like, I don't know where to solve the problem.
So I don't think any of us have any guns big enough to take on the AI robots when they come to.
All right, you're opening a whole new topic now. You start talking about AI robots, damn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that sucks, man.
Wow.
But yeah, if somebody wants to kill somebody, it doesn't have to be a gun.
True.
For sure. 48 hours. That's great.
Damn. Wow.
That is brutal. Well, have we beat the topic of gun control up enough, or gun control laws? I think we all feel the same way, and I think everybody's out there trying to find a good middle ground for keeping kids safe, right? But not taking away our rights.
You're not wrong about that, Wild Game Pursuit.
Yeah, because the main issue here, like the big one that we are talking about, is protecting kids, protecting our families.
Yep.
That is one of the reasons, that is one of the primary reasons that if I own guns, I have guns.
Yep. That problem is a lot of folks, unlike us, for the most part, I would assume with this group, people grown up never even being around guns. We're never taught gun safety as children. I mean, that used to be taught in schools, handling guns, gun safety, that kind of stuff. And we're getting into the big cities, away from the country and outdoor living, and kids just aren't taught anything about handling guns and gun safety and respect for firearms.
Right.
So,
Wild Game talking about this right here. So I have I don't want to alienate anybody, especially I'm not trying to alienate anybody as a result of whatever mental health issues they may be going through. I think there are some real issues with and you see it in larger cities. You see it where there are very high population volume, and I think there is some kind of like the mental health, the mental sickness or whatever. I think it has something to do with like being crammed in proximity to each other. In the same way, like animals in a zoo, if you cram a whole bunch of them together, you are going to see psychological effects of that. And I think that's what you see in, not to knock on anybody in particular, but Los Angeles, New York, Houston, places like that. Like that's what I'm seeing, is that they are in a zoo environment where they're just, I don't know, just crammed too tight together.
Mentality. Mob mentality.
Yeah.
Right. What's up, MD Outdoors? Fishhead videos.
Yep. What's up,
Fishhead,
guys? Good
what's
to see you
up,
here. Oh, do we want to? Let's see what he said. I forgot. Personal responsibility. Yep.
That was John's major point too.
Preaching to the choir. You're right. And that's what I'm talking about when somebody commits a crime with a handgun, but then a judge lets them plead down to a lesser crime so they can own a firearm again when they should not be able to. We got to stop doing that. Firearms involved, it should be max, no matter who you are, what you are, where you're from. There should be a max punishment for that. Just, if I go rob a store with a firearm, I should never be allowed to own a firearm again. I've got no problem telling somebody who's robbed a store with a firearm that they can never own a firearm again. Doesn't bother me at all. They lost that right when they robbed a store using a firearm.
Mm-hmm. Like it.
Yeah, it's kind of one thing to have that right and lose it as a result of something like that. Yeah, you're right. Like my main concern is like when people start losing their rights, like that blanket red flag. I'm gonna start calling it that. The red flag law. that's not good. That is a seriously, like, just the blanket ability to take something away from someone arbitrarily based on the assumption that they are dangerous. That's way too accessible.
Damn, they go around taking a weapon away from every veteran in the country.
Yeah, that just opens the door right there.
That's stupid. Whew.
Yeah, you're doing it right, Fishhead.
We have we beaten this dead. We're not going to solve the issue tonight. We're all just going to stay aware.
Be aware that it's going on. We got links to both articles. Go with the USA Today article. That is a better one. It covers all of. There's like 5 or 6 states, and there's only there's a couple different laws. Be aware of those, just so that you don't get yourself into trouble. Yeah, and we can continue the discussion as needed. at a different time.
Yeah, it could become a really big discussion.
That's kind of the end all argument of the whole thing right there at the end of the conversation. Yes, they need their day in court, shown guilty by a jury of their peers. Absolutely. We need to actually like enforce those. That was one of the issues that John and I were talking about earlier, is that he thinks it's because lack of enforcement. I think it's because of arbitrary enforcement, whatever the case may be. The fact is that we do have laws on the books already for all this stuff, and it gets enforced for one person different or maybe not for another. And that's just, if we're not being able to do what we can with the laws that we got already, then the laws aren't working, and that's not the solution. We need to figure out something else.
Yeah, and I don't even want to dig into it, but it is political, right?
There's politics.
Says it's better here in Florida, there's a reason. It's better here in Texas also, and there's a reason for that. We're talking about Michigan. There's a reason for that.
Right. I think it's a lack of care and love for people and value of life, basically.
Yeah.
Well
said. Ain't raised your kids right.
Yep.
That's a big part of it.
On a slightly different note here. So we do have a different topic of conversation, and we're at that time where we do need everybody's assistance. So this was the Debbie Downer part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Now it's time for a different one. We're gonna up the mood a little bit. I'm gonna kick on some more, like happier tunes and stuff like that. Sure. We have a gentleman, John, I'll let you do all the introductions and stuff on that, but we have a gentleman who is interested, is an outdoorsman and is interested in doing YouTube. They want to film and share their experiences when they're out fishing and hunting, but they haven't done this before. So we're going to take this opportunity, since everybody here, the majority of people in the chat and everybody up here does a YouTube channel, we're going to sit here and talk about a few things, a little lighthearted conversation about what this gentleman needs to be doing, tips, tricks, and things to focus on, and things to be aware of, pitfalls and speed bumps that they need to be aware of if they are going to pursue doing YouTube. So I want everybody jumping in and piling in on a more fun conversation of what this guy needs to expect, what he needs to do, that sort of thing. John, do you want to do the introductions on that?
Yeah, so Brian Cobb is an old Army friend. I was just there this past weekend. Him and his wife said they're interested in they watch a lot of YouTube, but they don't know a lot about running a YouTube channel, the pitfalls and all that involved, the do's and don'ts, right, of running a YouTube channel. So I figured we'd get everybody in, but think about 2 or 3 suggestions if you knew somebody who's starting a brand new YouTube channel, outdoors channel, right? That's their topic. Not looking to make a living, but looking to, add to their income possibly. What are your top 3 suggestions for them? What should they do to start? And I'll start off. I had already told them some stuff because I was with them this weekend. And one thing is, pick a good channel name, whether it's your name or what you do, but don't pigeonhole yourself. John's Crochet, and then I start doing other types of artwork and all that, and everybody thinks I just do crochet. You know what I mean? So don't pigeonhole yourself with a title. What else you guys got?
I like that. A channel name that can be branded, basically. Something that you can make some merch of, and something that sticks out. I like that. I would say try to, if you're just doing it to make memories and be able to replay your memories, then that's one thing. But if you're actually trying to make money, I'd try to focus on how-to videos, something people are searching the titles, how to catch crappie, how to catch whatever, how to use a trout magnet or stuff to that nature.
Yeah, my thought right off the bat, the first thing, obviously I do a little bit of this with TubeBuddy, and one of the first things I tell people is you have 2 different kinds of YouTube channel that you can do. You can be you can be an authority, somebody that people come to. They want to know how to do a thing. you know how to fish a certain area, a certain style, something along those lines. You don't have to be the top dog, but you need to be an authority on that subject to where you are somebody that they can come to for that. Or you can be on your own personal journey and you can invite people to come with you. So kind of pick your path and realize that that's what you're doing. I'm going to assume the gentleman's been at it for a while. He's going to go take that an authority approach. And to be an authority, put out a lot of tips and tricks videos. Tell people what they're doing. Select your area, select your niche, the thing that you're going to, your area of focus, and hammer down and make 1,000 videos about everything. Build a library of content based around the thing that you can help people with.
Yeah, and his background, he's been in Florida a long time and gator hunts, fishes freshwater and saltwater, has leases in Alabama where they hunt hogs, they hunt deer, so does a little bit of all of it. So yeah, I think he could be that person to explain how they do things. I never trolled for crappie with rattle traps, right? We caught crappie trolling with rattle traps.
Nice.
So he's got a lot of knowledge, but I also, you need to make it, I told him, make it entertaining, be personable, right? But your point about showing people how to do things is a good one, because I think something that really helps, at least my channel, is evergreen videos, which are those videos that it's not a hip now topic that fades away. It's something that people are going to keep searching for years to come. The dual battery one, the Traeger thermometer, how to calibrate it, those kind of things. I keep the sunglasses. I keep getting hits on those years later because it's something that people keep looking for.
Well, we got so this is Gunpoint. You got perfect timing here. Gunpoint is doing, if you want to drop a link in the chat for your channel, go right ahead. He just put out his very first YouTube video, also nice. Fresh, jumping in on it, and it's some pretty dang good work too for somebody who just put out a good video, their first video. So Gunpoint, what we're talking about right now is we have some gentlemen around here who are starting off their YouTube channels, and so there's a lot of YouTube channels obviously over here in the chat, us up here on the panel do YouTube. So we're talking about YouTube as a topic of discussion, how to do an outdoors channel in 2024, how to what somebody who is new and just jumping into this, what they need to be aware of, the things to focus on, things like that. Wild Japan said, don't do what I do. So what is it? I'm going to bring your comment up here, man. What is it that you do that you think you're not doing right? I'm kind of curious because I have a thing on that, but I'm curious what you think that you're not doing right. And Carmel, I'm not opposed to this approach.
Right at the beginning too. Put a bunch of videos out there. I like Ben's comment though. When you go to upgrade something, upgrade audio.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
That's a huge, when you got a bunch of wind noise, you could have a great video, but if it's real bad wind noise, it's a turnoff. And people aren't going to watch it just because they can't hear and they don't want to hear that wind noise. So I know people type in there, I apologize for the wind noise, but it doesn't matter. If it's bad, especially if they're just listening to you for the first time, watching one of your videos, if it's one of your fans who's been there all along with you, they might understand. But somebody who's watching your, this is the first video I've ever seen. This person doesn't have mics at work or whatever. Audio is just as important as the video.
Yeah. It's one of those, audio is one of those things. I'm a big advocate for this. The main focus for improvement on my channel this year is going to be audio engineering. It was last year, and I'm not done. I didn't accomplish what I wanted to do. And so anybody who had to suffer through wind noise or anything like that on my channel, or really loud music or something, my apologies. I promise I'm still working on that. But audio is going to be one of those things where it's like, if you do it right, if you do it well, nobody notices.
Yeah.
So you don't put any emphasis into it until you have a dozen people who tell you like, this was a really good video, but I couldn't watch halfway through because of the wind noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sucks getting that comment.
So one of my upgrades for this year, It's a wireless microphone system.
Same
So
here. I got this a different one, but I got the same thing.
I'm going to start using that this year. So we'll see how that does. I haven't used them yet. I'm afraid to tear them up. It costs money, you know.
I like that. I'm going to tear mine up. I'm just going to part of the game.
That's true. That's true. Well, you're big time. You make all that money. You can afford to tear them up.
I can drop them dimes.
That's right. What else? Come on, folks. What else you got? What's your top couple things? We got better audio. We got
just do it. 100%.
Just do it. We got throw a bunch of videos at the wall. Make them see. I told them at least have 3 or 4 videos ready before you even go, and then start your YouTube channel. Get the right name, and then start posting those first 3 or 4 videos. Come here, join us in chat, introduce yourself. We can introduce you to other people that will watch videos, right? Because the goal is to be monetized, you got to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months. So the only way you get that is, like everybody said, is get out there, mix and mingle. I told them neither of them are big on, doing other social media, but I said it can be an important part where Instagram and those things can help lead people to your channel. So Farmall said it. Channel name is critical. That's true. Hey, Tina.
Get it. What was it? Somebody said, okay, yeah, I like this. Ben said it's hard not to imitate creators that influence you. Try to offer something of value to review. Being something of value, like that is going to be the thing right there. You have to provide some kind of value. There has to be a reason somebody's going to be watching you, why they're going to want to come back, subscribe and come back to see more. But you have to offer a compelling bit of value in doing that. Don't worry about imitating. Like it's the most sincere form of whatever that saying is.
Flattery is the most sincere form of.
Anybody who gets offended by that, you're looking at it wrong. They're not stealing views. They're a friend that you haven't talked to or something like that. I don't know. Don't worry about imitation. You need to put your own personality into it, and that's it.
Say what Farmall talking about them filler videos. So if he doesn't have a tractor video, he'll put out a chicken video or a deer hunting video, something like that, and it just doesn't get half the views of his tractor videos.
Right. Product reviews.
Right, same thing.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's interested in that product, it's probably not going to get the views that your regular videos would get.
Right. All right, we got some good points for them. Hopefully they'll watch the video, and I'll talk with them and or watch the live, and I'll talk with them and see what they think of it and what they're going to do. I'll let you all know.
And we can continue this conversation in the Discord server too, because I think that it does warrant more. If anybody else has questions, anybody watching this after the fact, want to get in more on this conversation, we can open up a whole thing Discord server. There's a lot of good people in there that give a lot of good insight and advice.
Good point. Good point. We're moving along here. I know we got something to talk about. Grant, did you have something you wanted to introduce everybody to?
Oh yeah, there's a link in the description for some. I didn't bring them in. They're out. Extra prop shear pins. It's like $7 for 8 extra shear pins for a trolling motor. Definitely.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal. So is there a link down below for them to check those out?
Yeah, that's in the description.
All right, cool.
We had talked about that in a prior stream. I'm pulling it up right now. So what the deal is these are something that if you got a boat, these are one of those things that's like you don't realize that you need this until all of a sudden,
you need it.
Yeah, your motor gets you have lost control over your motor.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a pin break one day last week, and I had cut a couple nails to size, but then the nail broke, so it's like I'm ordering some, and I found those. It was 8 for $7. I thought that was pretty good.
That is a good deal. And just like you said, you're out there fishing, you're having a great day, you're catching the fish, the trolling motor's holding you where you want to be. That thing busts, and guess what? You don't have a spare, you don't have a backup. You got to change what you're going to do to fish, or you're going home.
Yep.
So I think that's a good item to have. I always had a spare. My big boat now doesn't have a trolling motor on it yet, so I don't have them. But when I had my Mako, I definitely had spares.
Yeah, I don't know if those big trolling motors, I'm sure they might have a bigger prop pin, but I don't know.
Yeah, make sure it fits whatever trolling motor you're using.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure. Very cool, man.
Tina Ladybug, good to see you. Missed that comment.
So we got any
You got some pictures?
Yeah, it is that time. We got a few we need to be looking at. It's that time of the week where we determine who is going to be our photographer of the week, who's going to get added to our 2024 Wall of Fame. This is brought to you by I'm bringing it up now, the Premier Fishing and Hunting Discord server. There's a link in the description down below. Come and join us, have some fun, jump in on these conversations. We have a good time in there, make a lot of friends, and obviously, it's an opportunity for us all to share off all of the amazing things that you did over the weekend, like we're about to look at right now. These are our photos of the week.
Photo of the week.
Yeah, I like that. We need more of that.
Ooh, I'm cold already, dang it.
Yeah. It's been a cold week, so we're starting off with everybody, just celebrating everybody who got out there and got some fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Wild Japan, is that shoreline scene? Wild Japan's.
Wild Japan is he didn't get pictures of the snow, at least not from what I saw. He went out afterwards. Dark, Black Warrior Lures, Jarl Venny, and Ghost are all these other shots.
Yeah, the one you're talking about at the top right, that's Black Warrior
right.
Lures.
That is Wild Japan?
Yeah.
It's Black Warrior Lures.
That's an awesome picture, top right.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. He's a good photographer. He does good work. I wish we could get him in here. He's a good guy. And he makes good quality work. Good lures.
Ooh, somebody did some clamming.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we've got clamming in here.
I think it is, man. That's freaking cool.
Something that I actually I would like to be able to go and do now that we've had a freeze down here. That's next on my list of things that I want to do this once I get my boat going, if I can get it done fast enough. And then, of course, we got Maltov and panelists getting out there and getting themselves some fish. Maltov.
Nice.
Kudos to you on that, man.
Man, that's that knife fish order. Those are freaking aquarium fish.
Yeah, that people release.
Typically in Florida.
Yeah, rush hour is in Florida. So.
Yeah. Huh. Invasive species.
Free reign on that guy, and I bet you money they're good eating too.
Look like, are those porgies up top?
I don't know. He's out of Australia. I don't know what that is.
Looks like a porgy, and then you got Jack Creval's there.
Texas. Yeah, that's his first trevally.
Wow.
Kind of stoked about that shot, Clay. Good job on that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Salt got a ton of those. We call them perch. He had a pile of them.
Some nice fish.
Couple of turtles.
Jaggy and rogue onion. Again, gentlemen just getting out there, getting into nature.
Bluegills, carp, pike, or not pike, that's a gar, some kind of little gar.
Yeah.
Got a red-eared spider and a kind of gator turtle.
Yeah, snapping turtle. You won't mess with them.
Yeah. That is specifically the reason why I don't do noodling.
Exactly. I wouldn't either. That and alligators and snakes.
Alligators and snakes don't bother me. But snapping turtles, that's the one.
They all bother me.
Alligators taste too good to worry me. And
They probably say the same about you.
they might. A little bit more grizzled than I was back in the day. Yeah, gunpoint, man, I totally understand you there. I tried, but man, I shut down when we got down into the 40s, and that was it, man. Game over for me.
I'll post mine this next week.
Yeah, I'll have stuff next week. In Mexico, it'll all be in Spanish. This is cool. This is Jesus 47. That's his first, I think it's a gag grouper.
Up top
Eagle,
there?
laying ladyfish, and George got himself a nice winter trout. Salmon trout?
Yeah, one or the other. Maybe a cutthroat. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Good job,
Sweet.
George.
It looks cold there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's that time of year we're going to get a lot of cold looking pictures.
It's my goal to get some sunburn pictures next
There
week.
you go.
Before
There
this
you
reading.
go. Oh my goodness. Look at that neck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty picture.
yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, I've been tracking him for months too, so he's got a ton of game cam shots that he's been following. This guy.
He's getting ready to make some baby deer. That big little big net.
That's
Deer
fun
season.
watching all his cam footage on this.
The deer season should be going out. Most places are going out this
Yeah.
Sunday was the last day.
I don't know the last day here, but I know it's right around now.
Yeah, I want to say it's this weekend.
Yeah.
Bummer. I didn't get into him this year. I didn't get it together.
They'll be losing antlers before long.
Yep. Then people can start shed hunting.
Yep.
Oh, we got some ducks and a goose.
I'll say that's a
Ben,
nice-
not Ben, War Thunder Aviator. It's his first goose of the year. What he was
Nice.
saying.
Very nice. And it looks like a bunch of either golden eyes or buffalo heads. I think those are buffalo heads on the top. The one at the bottom looks like a golden eye.
I would not know.
Diver ducks.
I don't think he said. That is it for this week. And this is our current 2024 Wall of Fame. We got Ghost and Rexman. Rexman, sorry, I forgot to put your name on there. I will update that. But it's time for us to add somebody else to the list here. We got some good bucks on there this week.
Turf.
What is it? Yeah, we got a lot of turf here. Are we going to continue that trend, or are we going to add some surf to the mix? You tell me.
Let's see what we got. Oh,
Our options are Rush Hour Fishing, George, and Aventi. All right, chat, it is your time now. I need you to cast your vote, A, B, or C, for who needs to be added to our 2024 Wall of Fame.
I voted first. That's just a great picture. You can see the angler. Light's good. Good looking fish. I like it.
I agree. And that's one of those pictures, you know, every one of these, like my point of view on this is I'm looking at it now that we've done this for a year. I'm looking at it from the end of year perspective. What do I want, you know, like if we're going to have posters and t-shirts and the stuff that I'm working on, what is going to make me look cooler by having my photo next to, you know, in one of these guys? And that guy who's out there, to me, who's out there in the snow and he's suffering through, got himself a good catch. I think that speaks volumes.
I agree.
That's my 2 cents on that one.
And it looks like
I'm
everybody
totally cool
but
with the night
Janet
fish.
agrees.
Yeah.
Janet, you're being a rebel.
I'm good with that. That, you know, that's a great picture. Again, that would be a great picture to have in competition, have with every. It's unfortunate Aventi's not in the picture with it, You know, I
Trail
kind of
cam.
want that. I want my face next to all these other guys that I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah. Yeah, trail cam picture, you know, you can put it out there and get them, but you're not there. You're not taking the picture. You're not harvesting the animal.
Hey, you know what? And I'm going to say, so I was going to say a second ago, I'm totally cool having my picture next to Rush Hour Fishing. That knife fish looks cool. He's a good fisherman. He does a lot of stuff. At the same time, I'm sorry to say, he's a YouTuber. I kind of tend to hold him at a higher level where I'm like, you know, you do YouTube, you know thumbnails. You can't do YouTube and not know thumbnails. And I'm like, man, dude, you got to be able to, you got to give me a better photo than that. You've got the fish for it. I want that dramatic Mr. Beast style, like thumbnail photo for this.
Right. See his face at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see YouTube face. I want to see, you know, you got to be kissing it while at the same time that you got something attacking you from behind. And, you know,
meteor falling in the sky behind you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm expecting from that.
Perfect.
Yeah, those clouds look too pretty for that picture.
Yeah, you gotta edit out the background and you gotta go through. I think that pretty much calls it, guys. This was a runaway win for George. Sir, congratulations. You got yourself an excellent catch. You went out there and you suffered through. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. We appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing everybody in getting out there into the outdoors, into the cold and everything else, and going and having a good time and sharing that experience. That's what we do here.
Yeah, heads up, this next week I'm going to be posting a couple pictures, so I'm laying the gauntlet down. Let's see who can beat the awesomeness that I'm going to post.
I'm gunning for it, man. I'm trying myself.
Oh man,
we're going to see what happens. So it's that time. We got a couple of minutes left. Things are winding down, but before we shut this thing down, it's time for everybody. What are you going to be doing this next weekend? What can we hold you accountable for when we get back together again next Tuesday? And what amazing things can we expect to see from you when we do this photo contest again next week? Grant, what you got going on, man? What are you going to be doing this week?
It's too cold to hunt. If I can talk to my buddy that's got a better boat motor than I've got to go out on the river Saturday, then we'll go out on the river Saturday. But I don't really want to take my boat out unless it's just absolute perfect conditions. If it's negative, and I don't want to be paddling on the river and freezing my ass off.
Well, and you got a video to work on too.
That's true.
That's what I'll be doing too. I don't know what I'll be doing as far as anything else, but I know I'll be working on the video for my trip to Florida this past weekend. So
nice.
And again, shameless plug, I just posted a video, redfish video. So if you haven't seen it yet, check that out.
Spoiler alert, there's a lot of fish caught in that video.
And that wasn't even all of them. I just didn't want to make it.
I kept hearing you say how many you had that you didn't show on video.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it a 30-minute video.
Like, he's only shown 2 fish caught and the cooler's full already. It's like, jeez.
I'm aiming for that myself. I'd love to be able to do 30-minute videos, but I got to make them interesting. You know what I mean? If it's not worth watching, I'll make it a 5-minute video if I have to. If it's not interesting, I'm not going to cram it down someone's throat. We got more. Yeah, we got more snow coming all around. It's going to be another cold one. You guys have fun with that. I'm out. I'm not dealing with it.
I don't blame you.
Sorry.
We actually only got like 2 inches of snow. The heavier snow was south of us in Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. They all got a lot more snow than we did.
Yep.
All right. Gentlemen, it is that time. Everybody here, thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope that you stay warm, stay safe, and also at the same time, go out there and have some fun. Enjoy your time. You know, it's still, we're not in the holiday season, but it's still time to get out there and, don't go stir crazy. Don't get stuck in the house all day and get, doing that thing. Anyway, Grant and John, thank y'all so much. Have a very safe weekend. We will see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Peace
Good
out.
night.